Hey, what's up, everybody? So, thank you for joining me first and foremost. But why am I here? You're here to watch me. So, why am I here? I'm here to give you guidance. I'm here to give you help, share my thought process, and help you be a better trader and understand what you're seeing in the market. Okay. I'm going to go to my latest post or prediction as the market closed yesterday, because if you want an impromptu live stream, I said yesterday that we'd be green today and we could talk about why. Okay. But first, let me just share that latest post that I made. Add to stream. There we go. Okay. Then let me actually read it off. It's off Discord. So it says 363 on the SPY was the previous support level, was not even touched yesterday. Let's remember on Thursday when the SPY opened at 348, we went all the way up to 367. We went up 19 points. Okay. The volume on the SPY was 130 million. Now, yesterday's volume was 92 million, which was pretty decent, and the market recovered all of the losses from Friday. Then I mentioned the next level of support could be 365 or slightly thereunder. If we break that 368, which was a rejection level, okay? But however, after hours, we're at 369. So I said it's more than likely that we might even open at 370 or 371. Well, we jumped that. As I sit here pre-market, the SPY is sitting, let's just come up with a number real quick, at 374.50. So 374.50. If you read the post, the next level of support is 374.50, where we're sitting right now pre-market, followed by 378. So this is the kind of information I provide. It's here to help you. I make predictions because I see patterns. I see the way the market's flowing. I look at points of resistance or support, and I provide that information. I'm not like some other people that might come on and be like, this stock is going to boom. No, I want you to figure that out. I want you to be, if you're in calls or you're watching my live stream yesterday and you said Matt was talking about calls at whatever time it was, 2 o'clock, 2:30, and the SPY was sitting at 366.50. And I said, it could go a little lower, but I'd be looking to jump into one call. I'd go out till Friday to give myself enough time. See, I'm sharing my process. Now, when the SPY opens at 374 this morning, that call is going to be up 190%, maybe even 200%. And then you say to yourself, okay, is it going to hold? That's everybody's question. Okay, let's say the SPY is at 374.50. What's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not telling you it's going to 378. However, 374.50 is extremely bullish to start the day, but that is a point that could be resistance. So let's just go into why the market is actually trading the way it is, because some of you are like, I'm still a bear. Well, don't be a bear, and I'll tell you why, okay? First 2 trading days of October, I mentioned we could see institutional buying at the level. And now we are about half a month into October, and we're seeing it again. Thursday, 348 open on the SPY up to 368. Huge move with huge volume. If the volume wasn't there, I wouldn't believe it. And then what happened on Friday, as predicted, we saw contraction. Now, I got fooled because I didn't think we were going down to 356. With all the buying that we saw on Thursday, I was like, it'll contract to like 363 on the SPY, 361. We went down and we closed Thursday at 356. So I was fooled. All right. It got me. It nailed me. But we are definitely in a bull run in a bear market. So what else could we be seeing? We could be seeing short covering. Okay. Now understand, I started mentioning this when I mentioned Wall Street lies. Okay. I turned bullish when Jamie Dimon came out and he warned the S&P could drop another 20%, because let's remember, he said the same thing in early June. And what happened? The markets ripped higher. He said in June, it could be a storm out there. Storms are brewing, right? The market ripped higher. Now he warns everybody the markets could drop 20%. What have they done? They've ripped higher since Thursday. Thursday's 19-point move was what? 5.5%. We dropped on Friday. We made it all back yesterday. So we're 5.5% higher, and the markets are up pre-market probably 2%. So what could we see in the market today? Again, I'm thinking the high could be 378. If the SPY hits 378, I'm selling my bullish positions. Okay, what could change in the market to make the market drop? Okay, really bad earnings. Companies are coming out with earnings this week, followed by the next 2 weeks. I think you have about 20% of the SPY reporting this week. So I'm going to look at like Netflix. I'm going to look at Tesla. I'm going to look at their forecasting going forward and their earnings. What else? CPI, not till the second week in November. So there's time. Fed talk. They're already factoring in 75 basis points for October. It's not going to be worse than that. and probably 50 to 75 basis points in December. All right, so that's pretty bad already. So what do I do every day? All of you that are with me, we know what I do every day. I look at the 2-year interest rate, because if the 2-year interest rate spikes, the 10-year spikes, or the US dollar spikes, it makes the market more expensive. So we closed yesterday at 446 on the 2-year. We're at 443. We're down a smidge, not that much. 10-year, right in line, 401, 401, same thing. US dollar, 112.10, 112.24. Nothing crazy there. Now, understand, when the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar go up, it's more expensive. But here is why, okay? Because nobody really explains it to you. Big money, institutional money, is very often borrowed or leveraged or marginalized, or all three, or a combination. So when you have big money investors, $100 million investors that are just looking for 6 to 8 to 10% a year, if they can get that, they also leverage their money, especially when their advisor tells them, yes, we're going through a bull run. They're like, all right, well, double my positions. I will pay the 4% rate, which is the 2-year rate right now, to borrow money. So that's annualized rate. But understand, when you're investing $100 million, that's a lot of money every day. So you can't just sit idly or watch as the market or your investments go down. So that's why it's so important, because again, big money is mostly borrowed money. There's probably $12 billion worth of money that's borrowed, that's invested in our markets right now. So 12 billion, that's crazy. So understand, when the markets drop 20%, and that's borrowed money, now you have all this big money on the sidelines that's worrying, calling the people, what do I do? What do I do? And that's why we see massive drops in the market. Okay, so now that I've spoke about all that, and I predicted the gap up yesterday and the gap up today, because we had consolidation on Friday, okay? We had buying yesterday, and I said we'd probably see buying on Tuesday. And when did I think the market might be able to turn a little? And again, there's no reason to guess when the market is all of a sudden going to get bearish, but I thought we might see buying Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even the first half of Wednesday, okay? Again, when am I going to exit out of my positions that I spoke about? Let's talk about my positions, okay? First of all, I'm carrying AMC calls. AMC, yes, because at like 1:19 yesterday, I made a posting. AMC all of a sudden dropped from 636 to 622, and I was like, that's a massive sell-off. Someone's unloading positions. I know somebody will be in to jump in for purchasing. So I bought some options. I called the bottom on them, the $8.50. Was it $8.50? Let me just check. I don't want to give misinformation. Trade, let's see. And $6.50. I knew something was off. $6.50 calls. I paid 24 cents. They went as high as 30 cents. They're back at 27 cents. Now understand, if AMC, I want to talk about a few stocks this morning. So yeah, AMC is the first one. So AMC's up 4.4% pre-market. It's up to $6.64, which, what does that do special about my calls? It puts them in the money. If I'm at 660 and now it's 664 pre-market, that's 14 cents in the money. Whereas yesterday at $6.22, I was 28 cents out of the money, and it looked like it was dropping. That's how you plan and get something for cheap. You have it on your watch list. So I'm going to tell you a couple other stocks on my watch list, and we'll go over my positions. Next, Plantier up 3% this morning, 5.4% yesterday. It's got to be over $8. Again, I saw demand all the way up to $8.61. So the $8 calls that I bought at 17 cents and at 20 cents, and I think they closed at like probably 17 to 20 cents. I don't know. They weren't ripping off, I obviously was too early. The point is, I know Plantier can ride up in a positive market, which we have right now, to $8.61. So if I pay $17 a contract and I can sell them for what I think at least $60, that's a 200% gain. Now, yesterday, I nailed another 400% gainer when I traded Roblox, okay? Now, here's another couple of stocks that fall in the Roblox space. Coin, okay? Oh, look, somebody on Bumble likes me. Coin, Uber, PDD, DraftKings, Hood, Rivian. Why? Because these speculative plays have been so beaten up. So we're not talking about Microsoft or AMD and NVIDIA, the leaders of the pack. We're talking about more speculative stocks that don't necessarily have earnings, like DraftKings. But I made a tweet the other day, and I compared Buffett's positions with Kathy from ARK's positions, right? And you saw what Buffett was in. He's in like, I don't know, Apple's a huge chunk of his position, and then other mainstay stocks. Bank of America was the second biggest position. You look at Kathy, and she's in TDoc, right? Teladoc, no earnings. Roblox, right? Coinbase, Hood, probably Rivian. I don't want to say Rivian or Uber if I don't know that to be a fact, but the ones I mentioned, she is. So I say, okay, if she's there and she's a spec player and other people respect her, then I was looking for a pop in Roblox. So that's what put me in Roblox. But I easily could have been in Coinbase. Anytime you see Coinbase off 13, 14%, like when it went down to $60, it's probably at like 71 now. It's probably up pre-market. So it's probably 73. Now it trades between a range. I don't follow Coinbase per se, but there are stocks that I see trade between a range. So when I see plants here under $8 and I know there's been support up to $8.61, I say to myself, okay, there's a solid trade. Again, I think there are other solid trades out there, but if I don't follow them, then I just get in and out. I mentioned I saw U.S. Steel making a move, and I mentioned material plays on my live stream like earlier last week, or it was the afternoon last week. I mentioned U.S. Steel. I mentioned Cleveland Cliff. I mentioned AA, Alcoa, right? All these material plays. Why? Because they're beaten up. So whereas, again, big money isn't necessarily looking at Microsoft, Apple, Google right now. They're looking for spec plays that have been beaten up, all right? Because they're saying, okay, well, we're not in recession yet. And again, Kathy thinks we are in recession. Wall Street thinks recession is coming in 2023. I think a combination of them both. But again, what can impact the market is all going to be earnings. Earnings coming out this week. So you want to watch CNBC pre-market. You want to watch it after hours, okay? Oh, and you want to watch Romeo. If you're on our Discord or if you're not on our Discord, Romeo is doing a live stream at 9:15. I don't think it's public today, but if you join our Discord, you can watch the public ones that he does once a week. Again, that's free information, just like YouTube. If you're not part of moomoo, which is the new app that I'm trading, started with $100. 1 week later, I'm up to 350. Today, I'll be north of 400 or 450. Again, I'm looking to turn that small account into $10,000, $100 to $10,000. I'm going to share why. I'm thinking about seeing if I can live off $100 next year. So if I manage to turn 100 to 10,000, I'm going to take that 10,000. I'm going to use it to live, and I'm going to use it to trade and see how long that could, go and what we can grow it to. But anyway, okay, more stocks that have interest. You can look at, if you want a mainstay, like Nike, okay? Nike, which was hit down to $82 after earnings, and the institutions were buying it up to $88, hit $90 yesterday, and will probably hit $95 before it might see some consolidation. Again, the moves that we're seeing in the market, don't think that we're just going to shoot to the moon. You guys better secure profit. All right. If you're not securing profit, you should knock on your head a little, because there are going to be times nothing goes straight up. So the fact that the SPY is going to open up at, let's see where it is pre-market, share it with everybody one more time. 375. Okay. So we broke, sorry, I'm just flipping screens here. We broke 374.50. We're at 375. So for the newer people that just signed on to the live stream, I'm going to tell you the SPY support and resistance levels. Again, the earlier ones you can write down just in case the market drops, because it's always good to have. And I base these on dark pool levels, which tell you, if you don't know this, 50% of what happens in the stock market is traded on the dark pool. So you and I don't know that. I mean, if you're part of the Discord, we have a dark pool thing so you can see all the large trades. But understand, 50% of the market happens where nobody knows about it. Why? Because they don't want to affect the stock price. If I'm buying Disney and I'm buying 10 million shares of Disney or whatever it is, a billion shares of Disney, I don't want to drive the price up if, it's based on the bid. So I throw it out in the dark pool and I see what matches and I pay a certain price and that person sells and I buy. So that's happening for the SPY, it's QQQ. It happens for every single stock. All right. So again, SPY levels on the downside, should we drop off bad earnings or Fed talk? You're at 357. Crazy support there for 2 weeks. It was 355, 56, 57. So 357, then 360, 363, which we did not touch yesterday. Then I like to jump all the way up to 368, which was rejection yesterday, which was support after hours. So understand, If I was going to pick a low on the SPY today, and yes, we're going to open at 375, I would think yesterday's rejection level will now be support. So the most I would see SPY drop, if the SPY drops at any point during the day and you're like, oh, it's turning, it's going down, I believe we would bounce off 368 pretty quickly, right back to 370, okay? So that would be my prediction. Okay, I know 375 is where we're opening. If we ever drop today and there's some bad news out during the day, 368 will be a bounce, and it'll be a quick bounce right back to 370, in my opinion. Now, how high can we go? So we're at 368, next level up, 371, which I mentioned in that posting, which I started out the video with. So 371, we broke it. The next level higher is 374.50 on the SPY. And again, I was just checking pre-market at 844 a minute ago, and I'm like 375. So watch that level, because we're back at 374.97. So that level of 374.50 is going to be extremely important, okay? Unfortunately, if the market decides to be bullish on open, it'll probably hit the next level straight up, which is 378. Okay, which would be my selling point. If the SPY goes 378, and yes, I am so scissor-handed, so please make your own decisions when you exit out of trades. But I happen to be scissor-handed or paper-handed. I definitely don't have rock or diamond hands. We all know that. But I like to take base hits. I take base hits. I grow accounts. That's what I do. If you're a home run hitter and you're Aaron Judge, you might strike out 5 times in a game, but then you might hit the game-winning home run today at 6:59 p.m. because I'll be watching the Yankees at 4 p.m. Hopefully you guys will be as well. I appreciate everybody joining me for the pre-market. Here's the last tip of the day, okay? Make sure you nibble. On the way in, on the way out, nibble. If you don't understand what that means, it means if you're making a bid and you're going to buy a contract and it's $27, instead of paying $27, put in a bid for $25. Save the extra $2. It's only $2. That's correct. Even if you're buying one contract, but you're saving close to 10%. It would be like 9.23%. Okay. Same on the way out. Your contract's going up like mine are pre-market, because I held a good bunch of my positions overnight, my call positions overnight. So what am I going to do? I'm going to set my ask really high. Say I was going to ask $61 for those Plantier options, okay, which I've spoken about. Instead of 61, I'll put in 67 today, because I don't need to sell them today. But if the market's going up, I was going to ask 61. If I get an extra 10%, that would be amazing. Amazing. Imagine you can get an extra 8 or 9% on the way in of every trade, and an extra 10% on the way out of every trade, just by nibbling, okay? So you tell me, or you post your results, you're sharing in your gains, and you're like, look, I made 68% on the trade. When 88% seems so much better. Okay, and the last tip, we probably have a link below for moomoo, which I started trading on that platform a couple of weeks ago. I love it because they offer you so much guidance. They have a short report where they tell me the top 5 companies that were added to the short report yesterday, and number 4, which is AFGY, is like spiking this morning. So it tells you, you can look at the market capital of the company, but the point is, have a link below. It's free stock. If you join, you don't even have to put any money in. You get 1 share of something. My share was coin. It was $64 at the time. Now it's worth like 70-something dollars. Great. Other people got Apple. One person got DraftKings. One people got Fuel Cell. Point is, you deposit $100, right? You get 4 free stocks. You deposit $2,000, you get up to like 15 free stocks. So free stocks, you get a share of Apple coin. You're probably like a couple $100. That's like a 20% gain. Anyway, so I appreciate that. If you want more, you could be on our Discord. If you join our Discord, you get 7 free days. If you're on our Discord, I'll see you guys there shortly, and have a great day trading. Remember, trade the ranges. Don't fight it. If you're like, this market's ridiculous, I'm buying SPY puts, you're just going to trash or wreck your accounts. So trade carefully, trade the market.